Yeah, so when I joined up with the Honda HRC crew a few years ago, there was a couple kind of facets they wanted to kind of place me in, and one was just the test riding role, trying to develop the motorcycles and make them so they can perform the best possible. The other side of that is to help at the races, both with bike setup and with kind of just being another set of eyes that can really help with lines and what the bike is doing, maybe what other riders are doing as well. And so kind of two pieces of that are coaching, I guess you would call it, and then also test rider. Yeah, I think the goals with the new 2022 CRF250 were a couple areas. We always want to try to have a fast bike and then also a bike that's going to handle better. I mean, that's kind of like always the two objectives. So we had a pretty good handling bike, I think, in this latest generation with the 1920 and 21, and so we want to try to improve on that. But also, I think we could really improve in some areas as far as power and how fast that bike's going to be. Yeah, so we had a few days to test the new CRF250 in Southern California. So we try to spread that out a little bit. We went to a few different tracks. Started at a private track in Thousand Oaks, California, and then we went to another private track at a really rough sand track in near Temecula, California, and then we ended up at Paula Fox Raceway for the last final day. So it was good. We got a big range of different dirts, different types of tracks, and I think it really helped us as far as the final setup. Yeah, so for me, riding a 250, it'd been a really long time. I'd hopped on one or two between, my 250 career and where I am now, but, never really set out to ride a 250. So I was surprised in a couple different ways. I think the bikes have improved so much since 2010, whenever the last time I actually rode a 250, but I adapted really quickly. So it was surprising to me that things had changed so much, but also I was able to adapt really fast, and I felt like I didn't miss a day. Yeah, I think this year with the 2021 CRF250, we've I think improved a lot of areas. I think we have a better motorcycle to start with, and so you want to see that translate to the 250, and now that we have Jet and Hunter on our team, we want to see them have that same performance increase, and so I think we've achieved that in a couple different areas, and obviously there will be challenges with new bikes, but I think we're starting with a better platform in 2022, and I really look forward to seeing what it does in Supercross, and we will really start to push this thing. Yeah, I think for me, hopping on the 2022 straight off the bat, when we went from bike to bike, the low end power character was a big improvement. I think that years previous, that's kind of been one of the weaknesses, and so I felt like there was a big step up in power, and that really helped us a lot. And I think also the gearbox was a little more user friendly. So for me, right away, those were two things that were just instantly improved. Yeah, so I think it's been pretty evident what the 2021 CRF250 has done for us this year, and I think that being that the 2022 250 is really close to what we've had on the 450, I think it'll be clear. I think that number one, power is going to be a huge advantage, especially for the amateur riders who don't have a lot of development that we get to really throw into these bikes. They're going to start with a better bike, and it'll be easier, I think, for them to improve. But I think that'll translate on our side too. If we're going to start with a better motorcycle, there's just the ceiling gets so much higher, and so I think it's really going to translate to the power side, especially. I think the handling as well. I think there's going to be just a bigger window for us. That's one of the things that I'm really excited about is we're going to have a very similar platform, and we've learned a lot with this 2021 CRF250. So I think there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to, be able to check off the list really quickly, knowing that we're starting with a very similar motorcycle. The 250 and 450, there's always going to be differences in power character the way that the chassis reacts to that, but I think that we've got a big advantage, you know, starting with a very similar package to really help us accelerate the process.
Some of my current roles within the Honda system include evaluation of new product and also help and support as a consultant on the HRC rally team, and also operating a day-to-day management of the JCR Honda race team. The 22 CRF250RX was a really great project. How do we go and improve one of my favorite bikes, one of the public's favorite Honda models? The 250RX has always been known for easy power, easy trail finesse, being able to go race the bike or ride it hardcore on trails. So when we went to the table to try to improve this model, you know, one was, okay, let's try to make a bike like lighter, easier to ride. Let's improve the torque character so it's easier to ride on trails and track alike. And also, you know, getting engine durability with, you know, improved clutch action and also improved cooling. The Gen 1 CRF250RX was developed in GNCC racing as well as West Coast off-road racing. And with all that data that we were able to collect over the seasons and, you know, winning races and winning championships, and we were able to, you know, pinpoint some of the areas that we wanted to improve. And some of those areas that we wanted to improve included like a more torque feel for the engine, give you a little more power off the bottom and through the mid, and also, you know, improving the clutch durability, you know, when you're thinking about going into, you know, an off-road race in the mud for 3 hours, and, you know, we needed to be able to have something that would last and be strong. And also, one of the main points was the cooling system. You know, the cooling system was really important that we were able to improve over the Gen 1 so that we knew we were really reliable for taking measures to when we improve the power. The improvements that were made over the Gen 1 CRF250RX are the chassis is lighter, it's less rigidity, and it's a lot more friendly on the trail as well as on the track. And it just allows the rider to have less fatigue overall. The engine improvements that were made over the Gen 1 included, you know, engine durability by adding a clutch plate to make it a 9-plate system. And that'll help with reducing the overall heat in the engine, and also with the improved power of the bottom and mid, just makes it a lot more friendly on the trail. Off-road, this model really excels because it's really easy to ride, and the enjoyment factor is really high. You know, one area on the twisty trails where you got a lot of turns, the steering is so predictable and so confident inspiring that it's just an joy to ride. The Honda off-road racing teams such as Phoenix, SLR, and JCR will all be using this CRF250RX platform. The improvements that have been made to this bike is just going to help those racers excel and those teams win races and championships. The CRF250RX is a closed course competition race bike, but it's also very good and friendly on the trails. It's been developed to be able to have a really good crossover. You know, with the improved power and the improved durability and the improved chassis, this thing is a winner on the track or on the trails. The base platform of this new design chassis, you know, stems from the bigger brother, the CRF450RX. And that's already been proven in so many race wins and consistent finishes through the Supercross team and off-road teams. The all-new CRF250RX is my favorite model. It's just such a pleasure to ride. Off-road, in the trails, on the track, you know, I can stay on the thing all day long and just get a day full of enjoyment. And I like riding the CRF250RX off-road just because it's lighter, it's easier handling, it doesn't rip your arms out of your sockets, and, you know, I can stay on this bike all day long. One of the greatest things about the new CRF250RX is the engine character. The engine power character off the bottom through the mid-range just really has a lot more torque, so it's an easier ride. You can short shift the bike, smoother, use traction a lot easier than the old bike, and it'll just make your ride a lot more enjoyable.